Seager and Marcus Semien up the middle. Nathaniel Lowe over at first base, and Mabrice Valoria will be behind the plate tonight.
And Dane Dunning, the former White Sox, delivers his second pitch. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good crowd here tonight at Globe Life Field, and they want to see a strikeout. That 0-2
guy to keep down, but the Rangers have done a good job so far.
And this one is grounded to the right side. Marcus Semien is there with plenty of time. Over to Nathaniel. 228 against. First pitch to tonight, especially against Michael Kopech. Well, it's a little bit of a different look with these Chicago White Sox. Grandal, shockingly, 0 stolen base attempts.
And I mean, it's a power pack lineup.
Line drive. First pitch is a slider that misses off the plate. That was off of Dane Dunning in the 4th inning. And he swings and misses at that 2-seam fastball, count even 1-1.
Pretty spectacular job from him last night going up against Dylan Cease.
Yeah, I thought he looked good. That was certainly he deserves that sugar-free Red Bull. Here comes the 1-2. That one misses, count even 2-2. 2-2 to Jimenez, and there is a breaking ball called strike 3. Jimenez is down.
You do see the Chicago White Sox down at 5th, 43%, but a bunch of ground balls and prizes you a little bit. Johnny Cueto, you could say is a ground ball guy, but you know, you take a look at like Lance Lynn. Although you got guys like Graveman and maybe Hendricks coming out of the bullpen that probably get some ground balls.
It's infield here at Globe Life Field, and so the infielders will be ready to work. And Dane Dunning throws a 1-2 slider right past Jose Abreu with back-to-back strikeouts for strikeout. We've seen a couple of strikeouts here so far, but he has only punched out 4 times over the last 13 games on the season. And the 0-1, that one misses in off the plate. There's that front door slider for a called strike, and perhaps maybe that's something. And the 1-2, there's a good looking slider that misses.
Dunning so far doing a really good job of just using both sides of the plate. You might think that he's going to go back away. Came back in with the slider and went back away. Does it again. When you do that, you kind of get the hitter's eyes moving back and forth.
Backdoor 2-seam fastball. We'll see where Dane Dunning goes with the full count to Vaughn, and he goes right down the middle with a fastball, and this one is laced into center field. Bubba Thompson on the run, and he may get there. And then he actually almost overran it with a great speed. So 2 quick outs for Dane Dunning, 23 pitches.
Fielder and taking charge out there, and he talked about the near miscommunication between he and Leote. And I don't think there was almost a collision, but he kind of dove back behind Taveras as he caught it.
Little ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Corey Seager, but there will be no play at first base. For Yoan Moncada, A.J. Pollock now steps in against Dane Dunning. There's a slider off the plate. I mentioned 1-0 pitch. That one misses off the plate. And Dane Dunning trying to go. To a pitch fouled at the feet of matching batting gloves. Today, gray batting gloves, but the bright pink shoes. Slider swung on a miss, count even 2-2.
I say spikes, but getting a peek there, it looked like they're the molded version. Just to kind of give my legs a rest. I used to wear the molded ones in the minor leagues a little bit.
Now this one in the dirt. Moncada's going to get down to second base easily. And so the molded cleats a non-issue for him there.
Third obviously scored, but I think maybe the runner from second scored also. That was the last time I ever wore the molded cleats. To do statistically, but just his mindset and just how intense he was when runners I've ever seen, just in terms of being bold. You know, this wasn't a guy like, and this is no disrespect to practice, and it's not like he was a guy you'd throw out there in a home run derby or you know, that might be the fastest guy on your team, but he was quick. He had great baseball instincts and to watch play and be a teammate of.
And when you think of a guy like Ian Kinsler, and it's the way you kind of harder to make it happen, and obviously had great success along the way. As this one is grounded to the right side, Nathaniel Lowe will take it himself. One down here.
Hall of Fame next week. He'll be around. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about him, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing from him. So maybe and so he transfers over to Missouri, and I actually played against him in college. And you know, he wasn't a player that really made a ton of noise, and that's why he was a 17th round draft pick. But once he's organization, he absolutely lit it up.
Another ground ball to the right side. Nathaniel Lowe has this one, and he is going to race Garcia to the base and just barely beat. Grounded out to Marcus Semien to lead off the game in the first. Changeup swung on. 6 years, $25 million. As he grounds one back, that is snagged by Dane Dunning, flips it over to first. Anderson does and third home run of the season. And Adolis Garcia, who's been an RBI machine, drove in 2 with his 2-out base. Run support. He has not gotten very much of it this year, and he is working with a 3-run lead. And I'll say this: the first 3 innings that we him all year long. There's a fastball on the corner. Check that changeup on the win for him this season in his first 20 games. But he has certainly pitched well enough to win quite a few times. And he is second in baseball in no decisions. As there's one that is grounded right up the middle. Marcus Semien.
The league a few years ago, he was 4th in Rookie of the Year voting back in 2019. Hit 30.
Here's the 1-0 to Jimenez, and that front door breaking ball misses. At the same time, obviously all big pieces that they have here in Chicago, and they won that game by a score of 2-1. But Abreu and 6 and 12 when they get all 6 of those guys in the lineup going back to 2020.
That win on the board, they felt like it would give him an edge coming into tonight.
Well, it's interesting because he feels like he's pitching with an edge,
especially in a guy in Abreu who's not the fastest runner. Swinging at pitches that you don't want to. Might be strikes, but they're down and away. Ideal pitches. When you are hitting ground.
And here comes the 1-2, and that changeup misses down off the plate. Traded in the Lance Lynn deal a couple of years ago, and that's a good-looking fastball on the inside corner. Washington, along with Lucas Giolito, who is still a member of the rotation here with the White Sox. There's another foul ball off the bat of Jose Abreu, and then that Lance Lynn deal, he came over with Avery Weems. Here's the 2-2 once again, and there is a slider that is tapped foul. Jose Abreu has fouled off some pretty tough pitches in this at bat from Dane Dunning to stay alive.
Just showed
it was making him work. Here comes the 8th pitch of this at bat, the 2-2, and this one is grounded to Corey Seager. Chance for 2, over to Marcus Semien for 1, over to first. Oh, wow, not in time. 2 outs and Abreu at first. Andrew Vaughn now steps in, and there's the first pitch fastball down the middle, called strike 1. So Dane Dunning, we talked, it's not intentional. It's just been some really bad luck for Dunning. There's another fastball down the middle. Count 1 and 2.
That happens. You know, there are pitchers that's why there's this, you know, try not to pitch to the score as much as you're just going out there and pitching the same game regardless.
And Dane Dunning does exactly that in the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. He saw his number 26, retired by the Rangers. He spent 11 seasons in the major leagues as a player. Breaking ball misses downstairs. Ground ball hit to the right side. Rangers in a shift. Ezekiel Duran, Pollock, who struck out in the second inning. Here comes the 1-0, and that one is grounded up the middle, but Marcus Semien is there plenty of time as he throws over to first on OPS. So far he's handled the lefties and switch hitters pretty well. Now Sheets is the only straight lefty that they have in this lineup, only straight left-hander they have on their batting left-handed tonight. That 2-seam fastball just misses downstairs. Count 2-0.
Yeah, you look at some of the lineups that they've thrown out there the last few nights. At one point, and then last night, obviously, Moncada turned around, batting left-handed.
This one is lined into center field. Bubba Thompson tracks it down and makes the catch. Can get this T-shirt, but you can't have. Had a start against the Chicago White Sox. That first one did not go particularly well as Garcia swings and loses his bat. Dane Dunning, we talk about him not being an overly emotional guy, but there had to be some emotion for him going back to Chicago and making
maybe more of a win now mode when they felt like Dunning could have been a few years away. So nothing against him.
There are times that he has gotten some good run support. 4 runs so far through 5. And the 0-2 pitch.
Retired 10 out of the last 11 that he's faced.
Some degree. Dane Dunning has just had some bad luck. 13 no decisions this year. Ground ball back to Dunning. Flips it over to Nathaniel.
American League starters, when he is on his game, he is rolling those ground balls out there.
Rays in the game back on April 30th. One pitch to Tim Anderson. Check swing foul. There's the 1-2, and he lays off that slider against the New York Yankees in the game back in May. And this one is grounded to the left side. Duran is there. Long throw to Nathaniel. It's nobody on. Yasmani Grandal steps in now. Grandal 0 for 2 tonight. He had a line out to Corey Seager, and he grounded out to Ezekiel Duran. Now Duran is shifted over, moving around throughout an at-bat. It's one thing with 2 strikes. 0-1 is interesting to me when they make that decision. And who knows what's going to happen with eventually the shift and whether or not it's banked. Now that may eventually be effective. It's all very fascinating. Here's the 0-2. And this 1-2 is grounded up the middle. Dane Dunning has it over to low in the end. There is a first pitch. 2-seam fastball. It was Corey Seager, right, in the shift that was able to field it, but just didn't have a play. And that has been it as far as the hits go tonight. Not a lot of extra base hits, but then you look up and down this lineup, there's some good hitters that have put up good batting averages. So it's just kind of an interesting
output that you've seen this year. I feel like Dane, his plan is matched up perfectly. You go throw him strikes. They've really done this series that have just put the fear into any of the Rangers pitchers.
Well, how about another strikeout?
4. You see Taylor Hearn in the bullpen and kind of look forward in this lineup. Ron Moncada, Woodward, that give Dunning a little bit of a leash with the way that he has performed tonight. But
Dunning gets a little bit long here. You see the 96 pitches now, and as Murph mentioned, only one time where we've seen him go up to 100. There's a dribble off the batter. Keeping the baseball on the ground tonight.
Ran down, and Grandal, the second hitter of the game, had the other one lined out to Corey Seager at short.
7 innings, something that he's done 3 other times in his career where he's gone at least 7, but he's never gone 7 without. Another one in 2020 in which he went 7 innings and gave up 2 runs.
And in doing that throughout the course of this one.
And that one is swung on and missed.